Hi, Dr. Katie here. This video today is geared towards women who have had breast cancer and haven't yet had reconstruction. I have recently been thinking a lot about breast reconstruction because it's something that I'm planning on doing over the next year. So if you don't know this about me, I was diagnosed with breast cancer stage 3, so that's locally advanced disease in the breast and the local regional lymph nodes. And that was in 2017, I had about a year of intensive treatments with chemo, radiation, and a double mastectomy. It actually wasn't in that order. It was chemo up front, then it was a double mastectomy, and then it was radiation. So because I had gained a lot of weight during chemo and during treatment, and then because I had radiation and I needed to allow time for my skin to change and to lose weight, I was told by my plastic surgeon I needed to wait at least a year. Now, even if I hadn't needed to lose weight, I still would have needed to wait a year, simply because it can take about a year for the skin to settle. And I had pretty advanced disease, and I was really sick. Still, I was feeling unwell from all the treatments I'd had, and deconditioned. It just having any sort of reconstruction immediately wasn't an option for me because of the surgical changes. It just and because of my anatomy, I'd had quite large breasts. Doing any sort of in the radiation implants options with expanders and all that just wasn't an option for me. So I don't regret at all delaying breast reconstruction. Yes, this is quite private, but I have breast prosthetics, and most people actually can't tell that they're there, but they are, and it has been an issue. And that's, I can do another video about that. This video simply is for people who have decided to not get breast reconstruction immediately, or were told it's not an option. I guess I wanted to talk a bit about deciding when to do it and if you should do it. It's not necessarily something that you have to do. The breast prosthetics that they have, if you're in Australia, the government will reimburse you for them. They cost $400 each. They last for quite a while, but the government will give you money to get new ones every 3 years. They're not waterproof. I do have separate, what they're called swim forms, that I can put into swimsuits, and they're waterproof. They have swimsuits that are made for, and bras that are made with pockets for prosthetics, but I found actually there's a lot of swimwear lines that, like Sea Folly, for example, they sell swimsuits that have places to put inserts for people who want a little bit of larger breasts. And I find that my certain types of swim forms actually fit into those pockets. I don't always have to buy swimsuits that are made specifically for people who have had breast cancer. So I felt like when I finished my treatments that I needed time to, live quote unquote a normal life, and I didn't want to have to focus on 2 months of recovery. I was told that it would be about 2 months to recover from the type of surgery that I needed to get for reconstruction. So if you get delayed or considering delayed reconstruction, I think it's important to meet with a plastic surgeon early. Even if you are getting your cancer surgery by someone that can also do reconstruction, talking through the options. I was really overwhelmed and quite sick when I was talking through my surgical options, and my main focus was on becoming and being cancer free. I don't know that I was in the headspace at that time to be thinking about the long-term pros and cons or consequences of different type of reconstruction procedures. And that's one of the reasons I'm really happy that I've delayed getting breast reconstruction, so that I can really think more about having reconstruction. So that's one of the reasons I am happy for, I guess, what's happened with me. So I have taken time to just live my life, to lose weight, to let my skin settle, and to make sure that I didn't get recurrence within the first year or two of my initial intensive treatments to get reconstruction. And I've lost, over 30 kilos. I want to lose a little bit more weight. I'm in a much better headspace, and in terms of my career, I wanted to take a year or two to kind of refocus on my career, financially recover from when I was sick, and pick a time that's not going to be as detrimental for my career to be taking 2 months off. Why have I decided to get reconstruction? I guess, so the pros, I talked a little bit about, there's breast forms, they're lightweight. They actually are technology that, the ones that I have, that can pull heat off your body, which is great because it's really hot up here in the Northern Territory. But, having to put them in every day, looking at myself naked, being, I hate to say it, but at times ashamed of my scars, has been something that I've dealt with, and I've dealt with some body confidence issues. I don't think that any of that's going to change with reconstruction, but I do think that that it will help returning my body back to kind of closer to what it was before illness. I think will help me to a certain extent, mentally and emotionally, but you still got to do the work mentally and emotionally to deal with some of the changes that happen in your body when you're sick. But I think that dealing with those before the reconstruction, the mental and emotional response to the mastectomy, to the scars, I think it is an important thing for me. So, the timing, if you don't get reconstruction immediately, or you can't because you got to wait a year, you can get it at any time. You can do it publicly or privately. If you do, in Australia, if you do it through the public system, you may be on a wait list for 18 months or more. So going through the motions of seeing a surgeon and getting on the wait list, I think, is important. I've sort of hinted at this before, but I think it's also really important to talk to your surgeon about the different reconstruction options and what they think is going to be best for you, because there are different options. If you're Australian based, the government actually has a really good webinar or online kind of tutorial that you can go through that goes through the many different options, be it implants or flaps, that can, so skin or skin and muscle, or skin and fat and muscle, or just skin and fat that can come from different parts of the body and be used to reconstruct breasts. And then it's important to know that it can be multiple procedures. If you do implants immediately, some women end up with tissue expanders and then the implants. If you're quite young, you need to be thinking about how long implants can last. Could you potentially need more implants? What are the consequences if you need radiation later on, if you do have implants? I didn't have enough viable tissue for that to even be an option. What size breast do you want to end up with? I want something that's proportional to my body. So these are things to consider. If you get reconstruction, you don't necessarily have to get a nipple reconstructed, but you can. And then, that's a second procedure. And then a third procedure would be nipple tattooing if you want. I don't know if you've seen that. It looks amazing. I have thought at times about how cool it would be to get, I don't know if you guys have seen some of those mastectomy tattoos where instead of people getting reconstruction, they have actually gotten these beautiful, I saw one in particular, floral pattern tattoo that covered their scars. Again, if you've had any lymph nodes removed, just be wary of getting those areas tattooed. I personally, I don't know the guidelines. As a doctor, I'd want to look it up, but I would not get a tattoo in the area that I don't have lymph nodes because of the infection risk and the fact that I don't have lymph nodes in that area that could fight infection. So I probably wouldn't do it, but it's something for if you're considering getting tattoos around your mastectomy scars and you don't have lymph nodes. That's certainly something that you should talk to your oncology specialist about, so they can tell you the most up-to-date research on all that and risks associated with getting tattoos if you don't have lymph nodes. So I sort of rambled on, but I guess I'll say in summary, it's, when you're first sick, and you're getting treatment, a lot of the focus is going to be obviously on staying alive, saving your life. You might not be in the headspace to be thinking about the long-term impact of the different reconstruction options. And if you, like me, had to have a delayed reconstruction, that's fine. There's pros and cons to it. There's lots of options in terms of breast prosthetics that you can use, and there are swim forms for when you want to do something in the water that are really, really helpful. And I think focus on living your life. Focus on getting as much information as you can about your different reconstruction options, and how much it will cost. And you can definitely go through the public system for that. If you're in Australia, you may have to wait, but that's okay if you're not in a hurry. I should also add that if you have private health insurance and you're going to get breast reconstruction privately, the costs can really vary widely in terms of what your out-of-pocket expenditures are going to be post your private health cover stepping in. So I think it's really important to understand the different costs and find someone that isn't going to cost so much. Healthcare can be expensive, unfortunately, and there's no pressure. And there's a lot of women, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but maybe that's something that we can get to pop up on the screen and look up later. There's a lot of women who don't get reconstruction, and that's fine too. And then the final thing that I will say, as I am thinking about getting my reconstruction, is I guess the importance of being in the best place for it, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I think working through some of your emotional response to not having breasts, to losing your breast to cancer, I think it is something that can be quite helpful before you go into getting reconstruction, because nothing about having reconstruction is going to change what you've been through. And it's not going to change the fact that you're going to have scars, but that's okay. I do think for me and for many women, reconstruction is an important part of their post cancer or their cancer survivorship journey and their recovery. It's only one thing, but I think it can be important. And if you want to do it and you can't afford it, you can do it publicly in Australia. So that's all I say for today, but I'll keep you guys updated as I continue my breast reconstruction journey, which is starting again. am meeting with my plastic surgeon again in September to discuss the planning again. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.